Hello everyone and welcome to It Goes Off, a wrap of the round. In Grantley we've just had round 22, only 3 rounds remaining, but round 22 will go down where we saw the undisputed favourites for this year's title with the spectacular overtime win on the road by the New Zealand Breakers over the Perth Wildcats.
It probably does separate the Breakers a little bit from everyone else. Maybe just in a few people's thinking. I'm sure the other teams don't think they're unbeatable, but you've got to think it's advantage New Zealand right now.
Well, Grantley, talk us through all the winners and losers in round 22.
6 winners, 6 losers from round 22. Started with the Kings and the Tigers in another capital city clash. The Kings 61, the Tigers 66, Madgen 20 and Bose 16 for the Kings. Lucas Walker 12 and 7 and Benny Lewis 11 for the Tigers. A couple of surprising contributors there for the Tigers in a much-needed win. The Kings only went 2 of 13 on three-point field goals. They missed 13 free throws, 17 of 30. It was the Kings by 3 into the last 3 minutes of the game, so they had a chance to win it, but then the Tigers went on a 10-2 run to win it with Myron Allen's go-ahead basket with 1:31 left in the game. The Adelaide 36ers 77 over the Wollongong Hawks 73. Daniel Johnson continued his good season with 16 points. Steve Way a consistent offering of 12 points. Ubaka 23 for the Hawks and Larry Davidson 17 points on 7 of 9 shooting and 7 boards. The Sixers were 8 of 16 on threes, so that was a big difference in this one. And they also had 25 free throws to 15, so a 10-point edge there, pretty significant. Sixers led by as much as 10 in the fourth quarter, and they eased to a win that will probably help them avoid the wooden spoon. The Cairns Taipans 77, beaten at home by the Gold Coast Blaze 94. This was probably a playoff shaping game, and the Taipans didn't really answer the bell. Wilson and Warren had 23 and 20 for the Snakes. De Leon had 23 points on 9 of 13 shooting. Anthony Petrie 17 points, and he is shaping as a big factor for the Blaze lately. The Blaze won it with a 47-32 second half. They shot 55% from the field and 58% on three-point shooting. The Wildcats 99 against the Breakers 101. This one went to overtime. Lish with 27 for the Wildcats and Redditch 16. For the Breakers, Cedric Jackson 23 points, 6 assists, and Wilkinson 18 points on 8 of 13 shooting and 7 boards. The Breakers needed a 22-13 fourth quarter to actually force the extra session here. Fakona tied the game with 8 seconds left in regulation on an offensive rebound. Wilkinson made the go-ahead basket with 28 seconds left in the OT. Townsville Crocs 67 got an important win over the Melbourne Tigers 64. Crawford with 14 points, Mims with 13 points and 10 boards for the Crocs. Lucas Walker again 13.6 boards, and Dorsey with 13 for the Tigers. Probably not the greatest game of all time with 42 combined turnovers. The Crocs made 23 free throws to 12, so that was a big difference in a game where the shooting percentages were in the 30s. Finally, the Gold Coast Blaze 90 over the Sydney Kings 83. It's fair to say that the Shane Hill honeymoon is over. De Leon had 33 points for the Blaze. Petrie again, 20 points, 9 rebounds. For the Kings, Madgen finished off his good weekend with 30, and Bose, the Sydney Sound Machine, stepped up again with 22 points, 11 rebounds. The Kings had 40 points to 26 in the paint, so they were pretty good in there. But outside the paint, they were just 6 of 22 from three-point line, and even worse, 5 of 20 on free throws.
My goodness.
By contrast, the Blaze were 24 of 35 from the charity stripe, and they used a 29-10 third quarter to win the arm wrestle.
Well, it's tough times there for the Sydney Kings, but the Gold Coast Blaze, they have made some terrific inroads in round 22 and are actually on the cusp of competing with the Perth Wildcats, given the recent results of possibility of sneaking in the second spot. But it's, as we said, the New Zealand Breakers were fantastic. As we take a look at the NBL table, and there you have it. Right at the top there, we got the New Zealand Breakers, untouchable on top of the ladder, and playing some very good basketball. The Perth Wildcats, controversially going down in overtime. There was Rob Beveridge, the head coach, got fined $3,000 by the NBL because of some of his comments in the heat of battle. And as we mentioned, the Blaze in some good form. The Crocs going back into the top 4 with equal with the Taipans, but they do have the same record. It's just that the Crocs do have the split on the Taipans. Forget about the rest, but the Tigers, as far as the playoffs are concerned, but the Tigers...
no, I think we just forget about them.
Forget about them altogether? Kings are there 9 and 16, Sixers and the Hawks. You'd expect the Hawks got a lot of work to do to avoid the wooden spoon. We have got a very special It Goes Off full version coming up with Russell Hinder, our special guest, where we discuss all the goings-on in round 22 and what lies ahead in round 23. Check out the extended version of It Goes Off.